begin.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Uh, Nice to see you all here. Okay. So let's begin with our talk today. That is introduction to Python for data science, and what is the current situation of industry, and how Python is playing a major role there, and what are the major kind of characteristics which we want to discuss about Python, some basics of it, and then pandas and numpy we would like to talk about it, and why they are booming so much. Okay. So yeah, so let's begin. Today, you know that AI is booming in industry. There are a lot of things. This is just just a survey just out. Maybe few days back it is out. That is what is AI trends in 2022 this year. What would be things which would be going on in AI? So you can see here in these trends that okay, there is a lot about generative AI, self-learning or self-supervised learning, then digital twins. Okay, already people are talking about passwordless authentication or edge AI, edge computing. Okay, big data, IoT, these fields are already there, and data science, they are already rolling. But there are a lot of advancements to these things, like you can think about edge computing is going ahead to say hyperscale edge computing, or there is AI is going at a enterprise level where this data science or AI, what they're talking about is there won't be just a single application of AI which will be running, or people are not interested in single app of AI, but they want a complete enterprise AI. Like think about Ola system. Like there are thousands of cars running in Pune under Ola, and there are thousands of customers every day going through Ola. So now the AI software or this enterprise software will try to optimize the working of all thousand travels. It won't be just optimizing a single travel, but it will try to optimize the whole thing. So that is an enterprise AI which is at a very huge level beyond just like it will involve big data, it will involve edge computing, it will involve AI. All these kind of sectors are going to merge together to form such a big thing. Or you can think about now 5G is already there, and people are already in India, experiments are taking place. So in 5 6 years maybe 6G will come, and already 5G, people are talking about connected cars or connected devices, IoTs and all, and then AI in that. So there is a lot of such kind of trends. Also you can think about ethics kind of trends, like digital ethics, synthetic data. Now how many of you guys, how many of you heard about deep fakes? Type why in the chat box. You can just respond to me. I am co-host. You can select my name and you can respond, say yes or just say why. If you have heard about deep fake, that they can fake video of any person on earth, okay, from any video. uh, yeah, any one of you have heard about it? What is deep fake? Yes. Okay, some of you have heard about it. Okay, great, that's nice. So and few of you have not heard about it. It's okay. So the point is key, you can create video simulating or speaking anyone, like, okay. So the problem there is a lot of problem with ethics. Okay. Or when we are generating synthetic data now, companies, there are a lot of companies which are going for data science, but then there is a data crunch. Like think about companies, especially non-IT companies. There is a lot of data crunch. Like recently I was talking about any of you here from mechanical background? Just say why in the chat box if you're from mechanical background. um, uh, you know the bearing lives, right? Life of a bearing. So this there was a very interesting case study which I was handling for data science, where they had data of the bearing for 1,000 hours. Okay, and now they want to predict if the bearing will fail in next 1,000 hours or not. Based on the data of 1,000 hours about the bearing, you want to predict will it fail in next 1,000 hours. So now this is very interesting kind of a problem, very practical problem, but then the data is very less here. So this is a very practical problem. In such scenarios, we need to have synthetic data. Or think about very another very practical problems, like how many of you face network issues, like day-to-day network issues? Yes, type Y in the chat box if you face network issues. Yes, yeah, there are so many of you. So yeah, now think about this particular kind of a software or AI system or a data science kind of networking company. They want to predict where and when they can have uh, the data which they are generating. The network is going to fail. So how they can have such a kind of thing? They need such huge amount of data. Now in such scenarios, there is a lot of crunch of data. We cannot either we cannot have a mechanism to capture the data, or we don't have authentication. Like think about it, if somebody is trying to capture the CCTV footage from your society, it will be very kind of a privacy violation kind of thing. Or think about the CCTV cameras on the roads. They are exposed to public. Anyone and everyone can access the CCTV cameras which are there on the roads. It will be such privacy leak, right? Yes, how many of you agree? Type A in the chat box if you think that all the CCTVs which are installed around you can be accessed by anyone and everyone. So it will be such a privacy leak. So now, because of privacy or because of lack of capturing the data, the problem is that there is a data crunch. Okay, so that's why the latest technology which is coming up is synthetic data generation, where they are talking about generating synthetic data from whatever small amount of data you have. So again, this is a very important field, and this is going to affect AI or data science in a major way in coming years. Now, another very important or innovative kind of thought process happened in data science or AI, that is self-supervised learning. Now, think about that a robot, you know, or a chess. There is a bot which is playing chess, and now it learns by its own moves. Like it's a kind of self-supervised learning. Like you're just learning from your own past mistakes. How many of you think that you do this kind of analysis, that okay, today when I go back home, I think about, okay, how the webinar went on and how you can improve yourself, and something like this? How many of you think that such kind of self improvement is there? You do it? Yes, yes. So yes, it is kind of reinforcement learning, but it is different, because here in reinforcement learning you have uh, what do you say, there can be some supervisor or someone who is like kind of an environment who is giving a feedback to you, but here you are analyzing and deciding the feedback. Okay, that's a bit of a difference in self supervised learning and reinforcement learning. So now this another field which is deep mind, and a lot of other companies are working on this. Now why I'm telling you, maybe many of you are thinking that this is a Python workshop, and why I'm talking about all those stuff, because this is very closely related to the application areas of Python. Okay, so we are talking about all this. And also think about IoT applications. Okay, there are you can think about so many sectors where IoT is getting applied. Like think about agriculture. There is a major revolution going on in agriculture because of IoT. Yes, how many of you agree? Type A in the chat box that you have seen such a kind of revolution going around you in agriculture because of IoT. The way they are watering their plants, the way they are deciding how much amount of uh, uh, you know uh, fertilizers they are supposed to use. So much revolution is going on in IoT sectors. Or yeah, there are so many of you know it. Um, there are so many fields, medical fields. There are so many monitors and so many things they are putting on by IoT. They are collecting data. Like recently I was involved, like I was not directly involved, but I heard about it, that in Pune there is Mula Mutha river and they want to clean the rivers. So they had placed all the sensors throughout the river at a particular every 500 meters. They are putting sensors in the river and they are trying to find out where is the maximum kind of damage happening to the river and where they need to clean the river maximum. So now this is a very very practical problem which can be solved in smart cities using IoT. Or think about even the societies which are not the I think some of you might be working on this kind of projects, that like garbage segregation projects. Yes, how many of you heard about such kind of projects, that automatic garbage segregation projects and all those kind of things? Yeah. um, Okay, someone is saying, where are these sensors kept? Sir, you can go and ask the COAP guys. COAP guys were working on this. I think it was way back, 5 years back, and they had placed it, in Muramutha River. So I was like involved in the project design, but then later on, unfortunately, I was not there in the project. Okay, so the point is that there is IoT devices. There is another very important field which is emerging, and that is known as virtual reality. So in virtual reality, augmented reality or virtual reality, this is like some games which were played based on such things, and there was a lot of boom. I don't want to mention those names. Yeah, metaverse is coming up in a big way, and they are saying that Internet 3.0 will be based on metaverse. Yeah, Jay, thanks for that. Metaverse is a kind of completely set up for such kind of augmented reality or virtual reality kind of experiences on internet. Now, guys, understand why I'm giving you all this background is because if you see even the current trends in IT industry, they are about data science, they are about automation, they are about DevOps, they're about machine learning, they are about IoT, they're about big data, they're about integration of these fields. Okay, am I missing anything which you would like to? Yeah, blockchain. Yeah, obviously, yes, blockchain is a big thing. Yeah. Uh, so yes. Yeah, blockchain is another field. Yes, any other field. So if you AI is obviously that's coming under data science, AI, machine learning. This is all things you can think about. One, yeah, anything. So if you think about all these sectors where IT or these booming fields, you can always think about uh, cloud. Yes. Um, Yes, cloud is like DevOps or machine learning operations or those things, web technologies like metaverse and yes, those kind of things. Yes, that's right. So there is a lot of fields which are coming up in IT and even in non-IT, and they are trying to merge together. The center point of all these fields is data. Yes. How many of you agree, guys, that data is new oil? Type A in the chat box. That you know, it's like in all these sectors, the major focus is data. In every of the sectors, they are trying to collect data. They are trying to process data. They are trying to improvise their systems using data, right? So data is new oil, and every company, every single company, can you believe, even a solar panel manufacturing company, they are gathering data? How many of you means I think it was way back in 2017 when I was working as a consultant. So that time, one of the solar panel manufacturing companies, they came to us and they said that, sir, we want to capture data and we want to, put our solar panels, arrange our solar panels in a way that they will give maximum throughput. So you can think about any kind of sectors, okay, any kind of sectors, uh, big kind of revolution because of data and kind of data science. Okay, so now the question is, of after all this kind of an introduction, the question is why Python? Because now there can be a lot of competitors, a lot of things coming up, Golang or JavaScripts or you know uh, there are so many infrastructure there are so many frameworks coming up. There are so many kind of parallel systems or programming languages they are coming up, or even the previous programming languages, they are upgrading themselves like C++. They are coming up with new support for machine learning, AI, and all these kind of things. And there are obviously advantages and disadvantages of everything. But then today, when we are talking about Python, why we are talking about Python, or this is a major kind of a discussion we want to do before we touch upon Python. So the first thing is, if you think about IEEE top programming languages, okay. So if you see IEEE Spectrum article, so I'm not saying this. IEEE has done this research, okay. It is not me, or it is not some kind of some era person is doing this research. So IEEE is doing this research, and then they are finding out that, okay, Python is like such a huge demand, and it's like kind of it comes across like 100% score they are giving. I'm not really sure about the 100% score. I would say that this is a relative score. This is kind of, you can think about the score is like a percentile. It's not exact that Python is 100% correct, because obviously we are going to, towards the end of the session, we are going to see that what are the problems with Python, what are the limitations, and I would also make you aware that if there are some points, or if there are some things which you plan to implement, and then Python is supported there or not, we are going to have that kind of a discussion towards the end of the session. So that I want to keep it very practical. I just don't want to give it a kind of a very introductory kind of thing. At this point in time, I would like to just have a quick poll by the participants. Guys, can you please put in the chat box that what is the number of years of experience you have? If you're a fresher, just say fresher, and if you have some kind of experience, just put a number there, so that I can understand that what kind of crowd I am talking with, so that I can you know put my webinar at a place where, and situate it at a perfectly okay. Okay. Ah. Okay. Majority of the crowd is fresher, but then there are still some people who are having a lot of experience, 15 plus years, and there are some people having 2-3 years of experience. That's nice. Yeah. Uh, thank you, participants, for your active responses. I'm very happy that participants have not just joined for namesake, but then they're very active and responding uh, as a kind of a mentor for this session. So I'm thankful. Yeah. Uh, okay. There is a specific question. Ashwini, I would like to take the technical questions towards the end. Okay. So now, okay. So now, think about this. So this there is also a lot of like people are talking about Golang, or they are also talking about C++, or they are talking about Java. They are talking about R programming. So So the point is that, okay, Python has some very special features, and because of that it is booming in industry. One of the major features which we would like to explore later as well, and one of the thing is the data science. Okay, the way data can be captured, or way data can be handled in Python, it's way smoother than many other programming languages. I would say the flexibility and all those things. Okay, Charles is asking what is the difference between Python and R programming. Those of you who are from statistics background, okay, they will have uh, ease of use in R programming, and I have seen majority of the companies which are from non-IT background, like think about mechanical companies or electrical electronics companies, they prefer to have R programming as a kind of a thing for their data analysis or data processing. But then the problem is that, okay, it has a lot of constraints when we talk about user applications or those kind of things. Okay, Python has quite a broad spectrum, Charles. Okay, so the breadth of Python is very high, as well as the depth in processing the data, and that's why any field you talk about, so many fields we talked about, and there Python has its extensions or Python has its libraries to deal with such kind of data. R, for that matter, has limited scope in kind of handling the users or interfaces and all that. So uh, that's why R is not booming so much. And obviously, as Yogesh is pointing out, that Python covers all the things which are there in R programming. So anyway, that's so. Okay, AI and physics. Narendra has a question that AI and physics, which language is more appropriate? Narendranath ji, if you're, I think you have a little bit of experience. So I would suggest Python. If you're beginning with programming, just go ahead with Python. Then, okay, then it would be very nice. So yes, obviously, we are taking only very relevant questions, and I just want to ask, answer a last question, that is SQL programming. Yes, Shivam, SQL has some role in data analytics and some data science, but then it has limited role. Python is much broader compared to, it is like a kind of, you can say that limitations, it has a lot of limitations in that. So Python caters to much broader range, and that's why it is so famous. So there is a reason for IEEE, tagging it, giving it rank 1. Okay, so I was just trying to give out those reasons, and I hope the participants are clear now with why Python is topping, because of its breadth as well as its exposure in data science, AI, web programming, and all these things. They are very nicely supported in Python. Now, there is another very important factor, which is driving factor for, especially for so especially for freshers, they are always like asking about what is the job and packages and all these kind of things, what is the future enhancements and all those kind of things. So the point is that Python is, because of its breadth, it's uh, okay, it is becoming very popular. It is very user friendly. We will be talking about some of the aspects, okay, of Python programming. We will be also doing a small kind of a program, and trying to see that how even a person who doesn't know any programming language, how he can understand Python. So we would talk about it. So that's why, so understand, there are multiple factors which are driving, and one of the factors is also pay packages, which I'm showing it. This is in rupees. If you want, you can do find out it in dollars or whatever is relevant to you. Okay, this is taken from payscale.com. Okay, these are just numbers. don't we don't take any responsibility of these numbers. Okay, the point is that we just want to highlight that Python is booming in the industry, and currently a lot of companies, they are preferring Python because of its breadth and depth. Okay. Yes. So even for freshers, Python, like there are a lot of companies which would accept you if you are a fresher and you have a nice, decent kind of work in Python. But surely it should not be a copy paste job. Okay. How many of you agree this, guys? It's not about programming language. It's about the skill you should have, that when you learn the language, you should develop that skill of programming. You should not just be uh, just be learning Python in the sense of copy paste and just take the code from somewhere and run it and something like this. Yes, logic based approach, that's right. You should develop logical thinking, you should develop that kind of a skill. That is very important, guys. So what industry is looking for is Python based logical thinking. They're expecting it more than just saying that, okay, Python, okay, yeah, I can Google Python. Google programming. Okay. So nowadays, how many of you agree, guys? Nowadays, this is a new book that is called as Google search engine. For every problem, people are just Googling it, and they're just solving everything using Google. And then they don't kind of apply their brains. They just say, okay, Google it. That's all. Even Oxford Dictionary, they agreed that Googling is a new keyword. They have added that in a dictionary. Do you know that Oxford Dictionary finally had to accept that Googling is a valid English word? So this is the depth of Googling. So the point is that industry is not looking for such kind of people. Understand, there are so many companies, startups, or so many people. They okay so you know you the point is that so many companies, they complain to me that we get so much crowd of programmers and all these things, but then if they ask them to solve a simple question, they are not able to develop the logic for it. So guys, understand, because majority of you are freshers, I would suggest, and the course which we are going to take, the point is there we will be taking care that we develop your logical skills than just teaching you Python syntaxes. We'll be just don't we won't be just teaching you Python syntaxes, but we would be having an approach of giving you kind of logical aspects, logical thinking, so that, let's say, in an interview, you are asked to solve some problem, you can at least develop a logic for it. Okay. That is a kind of approach we would be going to take in this complete curriculum which we are going to offer you after this webinar. The point we are making here is, we are not only promoting Python as a best language, we are saying that Python right now is a very good language, and if you learn logical thinking with Python, it would be very easy for you. And there is a lot of acceptance by the industry right now for those kind of candidates. Okay, so it's not only about syntaxes. Okay, so these pay packages are not, this is a condition apply here, that you should develop the logical skills. It's not only about the syntaxes or Googling. Okay. What in next 4 or 5 years? Okay, I can say you that Python is to stay for next at least 10 years. Okay, that is for sure. The kind of the industry acceptance, I can be very sure that at least next 5 to 10 years, industry is not going to go away from Python. Just like Java, even if Python has taken over Java, but still there are a lot of industries who are still um, you know there, who are working on Java. Okay, so yes, that's a stop thing, and there are not other languages which are competitors. Okay, what are the roles which are demanding Python kind of expertise, guys? frankly speaking, there are so many roles where you can think about IT or non-IT. Everyone is asking about your kind of Python expertise because they want to have some kind of data science in them. Like think about developers. Now, you may ask, okay, how we can have data science or Python kind of things in developers? Obviously, Python developer is a simple thing, but then even kind of data analysis beyond development can be implemented, or they need Python skills. Then web development, full stack development, there is a lot of support of libraries by Python in this. Then DevOps, system engineers, backend developers, they have such kind of Django frameworks, and DevOps is having Python based kind of libraries and supports for DevOps. So there is a lot of demand. Like think about PySpark and all those kind of technologies. Then network engineers, network security. Now there's another area where there is a lot of demand of people, and then they're also in network. When we are gathering the data, when we are trying to have an application of security or those kind of things, then obviously we are those kind of companies, they're looking for Python kind of expertise. Then quality analysts, automation, testing engineers. Many a times people think that okay, testers or quality analysts, quality engineers, they don't require any programming expertise. It's not like that, guys. Yeah, how many of you agree with this? Type A in the chat box that today's quality analyst, like think about data science. If you're supposed to analyze, if you're supposed to test a data science application, you need to understand, or you need to have an expertise of some expertise of Python or some expertise of data science. Then only you can have, or even automating those kind of things. Yes. So many of you agree with this, that okay, even quality analyst kind of roles, they demand programming expertise, and that's why Python is booming in these sectors as well. Okay, what to speak of animation and game designers and robotics and all these. See guys, understand, uh, for freshers, this is very very important to make think that why Python is important. If you understand this in depth, then you can apply. Okay, you can think about wide varieties of roles where you can apply. Don't just think that okay, when I learn Python, then I will have to only become a Python developer, or I will have to only become machine learning or expert, or I will have to only become data engineer. It is not like this, guys. you know um, Recently I was talking with one of the game designers. He's my relative, and he designs game with very big companies. Okay, he's into animations, into games. So he was saying that a Python script, so if a game designer or animation designer, he knows Python script, then he can do job of 10 people, 10 game designers in just minutes. Okay, so he was saying now this game designing industry, animation industry is going to change majorly. How many of you say yes to this, that even game designers, animation, or all these industries, these kind of slide which I'm showing, the roles demanding Python expertise, guys, how many of you think this is enhancing your knowledge? Type Y in the chat box if this information which I'm giving you is enhancing your knowledge. It is taking you out of just the thinking that when I learn Python, I can only become IT engineer. It is not like this, guys. I have seen so many freshers or so many people struggling to understand this fact, that it's not that when you learn Python, you're supposed to only become data engineer or only become software engineer. It's a huge world. So many companies are there, such huge scope you have. Okay, so that's why I'm going in details of these things. Don't think that, okay, I'm not too much focusing on the programming aspects of Python, but I felt that if you understand the importance of it, if you understand importance of Python, if you understand why you should take or interest in Python and learn Python, then it would be very easy for you to learn Python. Okay, I'm generating interest. So how many of you now feeling interested? Type I in the chat box that you should learn Python. You are feeling interested like this. Type I in the chat box. Oh wow, so many of you. Yes. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Thank you. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience, such responsive audience. Guys, understand, it's even beyond. How many of you know that SBI was hiring Python developers? SBI was hiring data scientists. How many of you know SBI was hiring? 2 years back, I saw this. I think it was 2019 when I saw the advertisement of SBI. They were hiring machine learning engineers, Python developers. They were hiring network security engineers in Python. They were hiring, you know, research people. They want 15 years experience, 20 years experience guys as research interns at SBI. So finance, banking sectors, they are, you know, if you go to Naukri.com or something, Monster.com or something, there will be so many finance companies. I was working of one of the fintechs, that is Investnet, which I was working with them in 2016-17. So I was giving them training for machine learning. So the goal, they actually they acquired Yodlee. I think many of you might be knowing Yodlee is a AI company, which Investnet acquired, I think, in the same year, 2016 or 17. So the point I'm trying to make here is every company, or to speak of finance or banking, medical companies. I was working with one of the hospital chains. Can you think about, we were working on 16,000 patient records. That was a IVF hospital, okay, in vitro fertilization, and we were working with them for doing data science kind of applications, and it was pure Python. We were working totally end to end Python. So the point I'm making is every sector, astrophysics. Recently, I was conducting. I think it was in lockdown only. I think 2022, 2021, somewhere in the lockdown. I was training one of the students. So he was from physics. So he said there are openings in Pune University, astrophysics departments, where they want Python developers to process the data of astrophysics. And guys, imagine, this is a very huge data. It's way beyond you can think about. It is so complex data, and it's, how many of you, there are so many people saying this is wow, this is interesting. How many of you think it is very interesting? There are so many uh, you know astrophysics applications, okay, and they want Python developers die hard, like they are dying to get it. Recently I was working with one of the projects, smart city projects. Can you believe they were working on RNA, RNN and DNA sequencing? Okay, DNA, RNA sequencing, and they were developing, think about these medical guys, medical, like biomedical, and these MSc graduates, they are developing Python scripts to analyze the DNAs and RNAs, and they are saying, sir, how we can improve this? I said, why you're developing this? So there is a great, guys, the thing is, in February, February 2021, I was talking with one of the managers in one of the very big telecom companies. Okay, I won't say just a manager. He was actually completely in charge of automating a complete module of telecom. So he was learning Python from me, and he was saying that as a manager, I'm supposed to learn this Python because the automation is going to happen in Python, and I have to know Python, because otherwise I will not understand what's happening in the automation. So guys, why I'm telling you all these cases, why I'm telling you all these case studies or use cases, is because to make you understand that you know, if you invest, if you invest your time in Python right now, then it would be worthy. Okay, you won't feel lost. Okay, so somebody was asking what will happen in next 5-10 years. Guys, the way industry is accepting Python in such a broad manner, in such broad ways, I'm sure that Python is going to stay for next 5-10 years. It's not going to go away very shortly. Okay, because it's not only one industry. It's not that okay, IT companies taking, or data science companies are taking, or only AI is taking, or only cloud computing is taking. Every industry out there, every company out there are working on developing Python applications. Yes. So Jay is saying that if metaverse booms, then Python will also. Yeah, obviously, it's every sectors. You talk about any sector, and that is going to help Python grow multifolds. So Python is going to stay. Now, so so let's come back to some technical details. Okay, any quick clarification anybody has? I would like to spend 30 seconds. If somebody has a quick question on the breadth of the industry, or kind of applications of Python, if you have some question regarding this, because especially you guys are freshers, and you are thinking that okay, can I apply to this kind of industry? Can I apply to that kind of industry? If you have some question like that, you can just go ahead. Okay, great. There are no questions. That's nice. So you have digested this. That's wonderful. So now let's move to some technical aspects of Python. Now, till now, we understood the breadth of Python. We understood that, okay, how the industry is accepting it in wholesale. So now let's try to see what are the kind of technical aspects of Python which are supported by popular Python libraries. Okay, yeah, yes, I agree. So there are libraries, very famous libraries, and this is just a very like tip of the iceberg, I would say. That is NumPy, Pandas, SciPy, sklearn. How many of you heard about these libraries? At least heard about it. Type Y in the chat box. If you have worked on it, say worked. If you have heard about it, just type Y in the chat box. Wow, many of you have worked on it. That's nice. Many of you heard about it. That's great. That's wonderful. So worked with it. Very nice. Very nice. That's great. So wonderful. Wonderful. I feel very thankful to the audience, guys. I know there are so many people out there, but still you are very active. Every one of you, many of you are responding very quickly, and also I would also respect the participants who are hearing this for the first time. No issues. Even if you are hearing for the first time, understand these are the kind of libraries. After this webinar, you should surely go and try to find out about these libraries: NumPy, Pandas, SciPy, and sklearn. Those of you who are hearing it, those of you who are hearing for the first time, please try to search on it or note it down. Okay, surely it will be very beneficial for you. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about why these libraries, or why Python from technical aspect. Okay, why it is booming from a technical aspect. Unique features of Python. Okay, so flexibility in variable data. Okay, I think I went to very technical details in the beginning. The first thing I would say, I would like to edit my own PPT. I would like to say that it is user friendly. It's like, guys, I have interacted with so many variegated industry people. I have interacted with so many variegated freshers, more than 2000 freshers I have personally trained, and such webinars I have given many times. So from variegated sectors, it's not only IT or computers or something like that, from mechanical, from civil, from variegated backgrounds. So the point is that most of them, what they say is, when they try to learn Python for the first time, it is so user friendly, guys. Okay, it is so user friendly that even linguist, even an English professor, can you believe, guys, even English professors, they are learning Python to process English literature. So okay, so it's a kind of, you know can you think about English professor coming and asking you how to write a program in Python? I was shocked. There were some from popular universities in Maharashtra, some professors which were linguists professors, they approached me and they were learning. Some HRs of very big companies, they approached me and they are learning Python. So guys, understand that is why they are learning Python is because it's very user friendly. Okay, so you are going to have a very nice user experience in the sense of development experience if you learn Python. Now, okay, another very important thing is that it is very flexible. One of the major aspects of why it is user friendly is because of its flexibility. Okay, what is the flexibility? That it allows you to have any kind of data type. What do you mean by this? Is that, okay, uh, the flexibility in data type means you can process any kind of data. Guys, understand, you can process any kind of data in Python. Any, for that matter, any means I'm saying any data. And because of this kind of flexibility, it becomes so easy. Okay, you think about PDFs, you think about text files, you think about JSON files, you think about image file, you think about videos, you think about streaming data from sensors, you think about data coming from I was giving training at Baroque. Any one of you from mechanical background here? So Varroc is a company, they manufacture headlights. Okay, they manufacture headlights, and the quality engineers there, they were gathering data from the headlights using sensors, and they were processing those they wanted to learn Python to process that kind of data. So guys, the point is that any kind of data, any of you would like to quickly mention some kind of data which you would like to process? Like I have dealt with data like sensor data, I have dealt with sonar data, I have dealt with audio data, I have dealt with signal data. So uh, image data, video data, Twitter data, Facebook data. Okay, uh, any kind of banking data, yes, banking data, networking data. uh, then what more? Software engineering kind of data, YouTube data, yes, videos, yes. That also can be handled in Python, yes, very well. You can handle that for sure. Excel sheets, huge amount of Excel sheets. Think about huge Excel sheets. Telecom data, yes, Ankit, telecom data can be handled using Python very sophisticatedly. Amazon cell data, yes, we have handled that. Alexa kind of data, Alexa kind of customizations, or think about those kind of personal assistant kind of customizations, they can be done using Python. Okay, um, or emails, yeah, email is a very basic thing. Any kind of text data, libraries, I would say libraries of data, like you can think about books. huge amounts of books. Cookies, yeah, you can handle cookies. Your network data, your network security kind of issues. uh, think about network streams, log server logs. They can be handled very very efficiently in Python. Okay. What else? Automating those kind of server log processing and cloud data, cloud logs and all that kind of thing. Yes. Food industry. Yes. Food industry data can be handled. Image compression. Yes. Python is growing in handling the image kind of data. Okay, in a big way. 3 dimension. Can you believe, guys? MRI kind of data. Recently, I was talking with an expert from UK. This AI expert was working with one of the leading hospitals in UK, and they are handling 3 dimension MRI data, and they are working on brain tumor detection using 3 dimension MRIs. Okay, so they obviously they need huge kind of computation power, but then they are working on such kind of data, okay, MRI data, and it's a big market out there. Sports data, yes, wonderful point you brought about. I forgot it completely. Recently you must have heard about IPLs and all. These companies, they are launching bats. Do you know, you can have a bat. Intel and many other companies, they have launched a bat which has a sensor, and that sensor is constantly it is gathering the data about with what power the player is hitting the bat and all these kind of things. Football is already having a lot of data gathering, player statistics. Yeah, that is very basic, facial recognitions and so much. There is also historical data. Do you know, Vedant? There was a VR application. Actually, our company was working on. We were kind of applying for a project which was a VR project, virtual reality project for uh, you know presenting the historical data of historical monuments in India. Like, think about, you are supposed to present, or you're supposed to have kind of analysis and presentations about uh, Qutub Minars and Taj Mahal and many important places in India. So using AR VR, so historical data about any kind of geographical places, or think about historical data about weather. Okay, all that kind of such kind of processing. Speed of the bat. Yeah, speed of the bat and all that. Social media handles. Yeah, IACSD. Okay. Film industry. uh, Rupesh, you won't believe that I was recently interacting with one of the VR engineer, okay, virtual reality engineer, those who generate that kind of virtual reality effects in films. So they are saying that, okay, sir, we want to learn Python because all these big actors, they just want VR. How many of you guys have you seen hoardings? Have you seen hoardings where you can clearly make out the actor's photo is pasted on somebody else's body? How many of you seen such hoardings? Every day I see such kind of hoardings. Yeah, yes, so many hoardings you see, and they are using kind of image mixtures and all those kind of things. So they are using Python. They are using Python in a major way. Yeah. Then another, so this is flexibility, guys. This is the flexibility of the data which you can handle in Python. Okay, another thing is vectorized operation. Now let me give you a bit of a flavor of programming in Python. How many of you are not from programming background? How many of you are going to see a program for the first time? Type Y in the chat box. If you are going to see a program, if you are going to see a program for first time in your life, type Y in the chat box. 1 2 3 3 4 5 5, 6. Okay. Few of you are going to see a program for the first time. It's okay. So guys, quickly respond to me. What are the programming languages? Just say yes if you have done at least Java or C, C++, or some programming language you have done. Type Y in the chat box. If you have done some programming language, type Y in the chat box. Great, great. We have a very wonderful audience here who have done a lot of programming, and there are some audience who are going to see the Python program for the first time. Wonderful, wonderful. Many of you. Wonderful. That's right. Yes, very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for your quick responses. Guys, so let us try to understand. Let's try to see a case. Let us try to see a my screen. The program is readable, guys. Okay. Okay. So okay. Is it readable, guys? Yes. Okay. Great. So guys, understand what we are doing here is we have data file. We have a file which has some data about employees. So this is the data which was made public by IBM, and this is data about why people leave or which kind of employees will leave the company. Okay. um, okay, which kind of companies they are, or which kind of employees they leave. Okay, so this was the data which was okay, made public by IBM. And okay, so let's try to have some brief kind of understanding of this. Okay, so there are a lot of fields on which they have done the analysis, and basically they are talking about attrition, means people who left the company or people who stayed with the company. Okay, so let's see. You can do a lot of analysis. I'm going to show a very brief analysis that is about age. What is the kind of age in this data? So we can understand the mean age is 36 of the employees and median age is 36, exact 36. Mean age is 36.9, but median age is 36. And you can get a lot of statistics details like mean, standard deviation, minimum value, maximum value, and the percentiles of the data. Okay, so all of this is possible. All of this statistical details is possible with just one single command. Yes, so guys, it is so simple. Okay, so yes, type I in the chat box if you think it is very interesting. Yes, yes, just one command, you get so much statistical details of the data. Yeah, very interesting, right? So this pandas. Okay, this is a command from pandas, by using which we are this technically it is known as a function, by using which you can find out so many statistical details about a single column from the data immediately. Now think about, okay, guys, I want you to write a query. Those of you who know SQL, how many of you know SQL? Type Y in the chat box if you know SQL. Yes. Okay, great. That's nice. So guys, try to write a query for this. Try to write a query for this. Let's select all records which are having age greater than 50. Yes, you can quickly reply to me. Okay, don't worry. Even if you don't know SQL, it's fine. Okay. Yes, guys, you can quickly reply to me the SQL query. Those of you know it. You can assume a valid table name and column name. Okay, I'm going to wait for you for a few seconds. Okay, great. So many of you are already sending the queries. That's nice. So it's select star from employees where age is greater than 50, right? So now look at this syntax and look at this syntax. If I have to use Python, this is the syntax below is Python syntax, and the syntax above is uh, SQL syntax. Okay, which one seems easy? Type P in the chat box if you say Python. Type S if you say SQL. I am damn sure you're going to reply Python. So Python syntaxes are so very comfortable. They're so intuitive. You have to just say, okay, age greater than 50 and just pass it to your data frame and that's done. It's just so easy. Okay, this is again possible with pandas. Okay, this is Python pandas syntax, which allows you to um, have uh, kind of this kind of very easy kind of interface or processing of the data. Okay, now I'm going to give you one quick kind of programming exercise. Guys, assume many of you have done some kind of programming. Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, short, not even 4 or 5 minutes, 2 3 minutes, and work on this problem statement. Take employee salary as input of 5 employees, and you have to add bonus, and you have to print the total salary of 5 employees. You can choose any language. You can do it in Java, you can do it in C++, JavaScript, any language of your choice. You can do this. You have to solve this. Okay, come on guys, work on this your next 2 3 minutes. Okay, so just work on it and send the code or send the logic in the chat box to me. So guys, you have to think about the logic for this kind of thing where you're supposed to take 5 employees, have the bonus, we have some bonus percentage, we have the salaries of those employees, we want to add bonus into it and print the total salary. Yeah, you can give the logic. I'm going to wait for a few more seconds and then I'm going to talk about the important logic. Okay, okay, nice. Some of you are replying, already replying in the chat boxes. That is wonderful. Guys, I would like to have ask you only one question. How many of you say you will require a loop? Type Y in the chat box if you say you need to have a loop. You need to have a loop to process this. Yes, you need to write a loop, right? So you need to write a for loop or you need to write a while loop. There's so many of you replying. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you, Devrat, Hemant, Atharva. Okay, for your programming expertise, Avdut. So the point is that uh, okay, in Python, if you are supposed to process 5 employees' data, so let's assume this is a salary of 5 employees. Okay, this is $1,000, and we have a bonus of this percentage, and you want to add bonus to the salary. Just look at this line number 5. I am adding bonus to the salary just in a single line. Salary plus salary multiply by bonus divide by 100. That's all. And my total salary is ready, guys. How many of you think it is very easy? Type E in the chat box. How many of you think it is very clear kind of programming? You don't have to be complicated kind of thinking. You don't have to do complicated thinking. You don't have to do array, where is the loop starting, where is the loop ending, where is the array, where is my salary, where is my index. Yeah, they, there is no complexity. The logic is very simple. Now think about, guys, I make a mistake. Think about this. Instead of plus, I make a minus here. Let's say while typing or while writing the logic, I make a mistake. So how many of you think it will be very easy for you to track this mistake? Yes, type E in the chat box if you think it would be very easy for you to track the mistake, because the code is in front of you. The whole code is in front of you. You know what is happening here. Okay, you can think about the logic. The main logic is in front of you, that okay, salary is getting added with salary into bonus. That's all. It's so crystal clear. It's so crystal clear that okay, even if there is some mistake, it would be so easy to catch it. It would be so easy to relate to this kind of programming, and this is using NumPy. So NumPy is making it so easy. This is known as vectorized operation, guys. We saw two vectorized operations. We saw one with this vectorized operation, and we saw another vectorized operation. This one, this is another vectorized operation, and the third one is this. So we saw the example of vectorized operation, and because of this, it becomes very easy for Python to be accepted by the industry. How many of you know any other programming language which supports vectorized programming like this? Have you seen MATLAB? Have you seen R programming? Yes, type Y in the chat box. They also support vectorized languages, and they are also very efficient in such kind of processing. MATLAB, R programming, but obviously they have limitations in their data science applications, where so any of you have worked on MATLAB or R programming, then for you it would be very easy to adapt to Python. Okay, so we would really recommend you to learn Python. Okay, that would be very, very nice. Okay, now let's go to the next unique feature of Python, that is huge community support. Guys, understand, because of its being open source, there is a lot of support for problems. There is a lot of support for any kind of issues in Python, and because of this, what happens is it becomes very easy trackable. That okay, there are some problems in your code, there are some problems you are facing with the new libraries or something, then there is a community support and you can go ahead and work on it. Okay, then there is also a huge data science stack support. Okay, to prove you this, I would like to talk about two things. Okay, in recent data science, there are two major applications which are coming up, that is handling of the text and handling of images. So in both the sectors, Python has a big kind of a say. Okay, so this is known as word embeddings. Okay, I'm using TensorFlow to do the word embeddings. So this is text analytics. I am processing my text data using Python, So I'm using some libraries to process this text. So see guys, what I'm doing is I have some text here, some text data. The glass of milk, the glass of juice, the cup of tea. I'm a boy. I'm a good developer. Understand the meaning of the words, your videos. Obviously, the kind of application which I'm going to show right now is the advanced application which require you to understand data science, which require you to understand machine learning. But then Python is going to play a major role here. So what you can generate is, see here, using very advanced tools of machine learning and AI, I can develop such a graph. I can develop a graph where I can map the words to the position. Yes, I'm mapping words to their positions. Is it interesting? Type I in the chat box. It will be, it is booming in the industry. And because of this, the text industry, they are the, going into a, complete roller coaster ride. And Google has introduced this word embeddings. There are some technical questions coming up in the chat. I would recommend the kind of scope of this tool is very high, and we are not going to cover it in our Python curriculum. But the point is that I'm just telling you that this sort of things are there, okay, in Python. There is another kind of major application in images. I would like to just give a just a touch up, just a simple kind of a thing. So here I'm showing the kind of libraries of Python which can process images at a very efficient level, like OpenCV or NumPy, SciPy, these kind of libraries, scikit image, and there are many other libraries which can process images very efficiently. So segmentation of the images, grayscale, and finding out the black part of the image or white part of the image, and all these kind of things. Okay, see the thresholding. You are extracting the leaf from the image. Okay, so there, these are the kind of thresholding applications. Then from this image you can extract the laptop kind of boundary of the laptop. Okay, from this image you are extracting the boundaries of this letters which are written in the image. Okay, then you can apply convolution using Python. So using convolution you can improvise the effect in the image processing. So you can extract some patterns, boundaries, especially boundaries of the images, various kind of boundaries of the images. So if you apply a kind of a horizontal convolution, you can find out the horizontal boundaries. If you apply vertical convolution, you will find out the vertical boundaries from the image. And if you apply kind of cross kind of convolutions, then you can find out cross boundaries or all the kind of boundaries. And such kind of applications can really help you in lots and lots of industry applications in processing images, videos, and lot more applications like that. There is also major applications of Python in finance industry, where we can talk about pandas for time series data. How many of you heard about time series data? How many of you are from finance or handling share market data or handling sensor data, or you're working on IoT industry like that? So there also you can have a lot of application of pandas. Okay, so yes, okay, some of you are there. So this is a stock market data, okay, where we are trying to process the stock market values of closing of the stock value, and low, open, and high values. So Python is supporting this, pandas is supporting this. And there is a kind of analysis, weekly analysis. You can also do the daily analysis, and there can be lot more things worked upon in this scenarios using pandas. So the point I'm trying to make, guys, what's a major point I want to convey is that Python is very easy. Python has okay, this kind of what do you say, uh, so it has a huge scope in industry, and also it has a libraries, it has community support for doing such things. Okay, we already discussed this flexibility of data types, vectorized operations, and community support. Okay, guys, now I would like to talk about, it's not, I don't want to give you only a fancy picture of Python. There are limitations of Python. Guys, remember, if you are going to work upon Python, especially let's say you think about Python application in deploying on a sensor, if you have some kind of sensor or something, okay, so uh, that time having C++ is better because it is more faster than Python. But yes, if you are going to do data processing, then Python is better. But then if you're going to do some kind of decision making or some kind of simple kind of processing on a sensor, then rather than Python, C++ would be better. Because the problem is Python is a high level language, and that's why it becomes very slow. Then there is another very important problem with Python, that it has a very poor kind of support for multi-threading applications. If you are really looking for kind of multi-threading applications or um, huge kind of parallel processing applications, you would have to have some kind of a background support, like you will have to have some kind of things like airflow, or you have to have some kind of frameworks like PySpark or something to make your Python program support huge kind of parallel processing. But Python, simple Python in itself is not very good for multi-threading applications or multi like kind of a huge parallel processing application. Another very important drawback of Python is it is not very good for mobile platforms. So guys, if you are attending this webinar or if you're planning to learn Python to develop some kind of mobile applications, I would say that it's not the right approach. Don't go with just with the boom. If you want to seriously develop something which is going to work on mobiles, then Python is not the best thing. Then database connectivity is another sector where Python is still struggling. Yes, it is improving. I would say from last 5 years, Python has improved a lot in database connectivity, but still it is very basic. The kind of database connectivity support in PySpark or maybe Airflow or maybe Hadoop kind of systems or cloud-based systems or Java systems, they are much efficient than Python, I would say. Okay, so thank you all very much for that. I'd like to take one or two quick questions. I would like to answer the generic questions rather than the technical questions. For technical questions, I would really like you to join our curriculum. There we would be surely answering your technical questions in details. So if you have some general questions about the applicability of Python or domain specific questions, you can go ahead and ask. How can you use Python online? You can do Google Colab. Okay, search for this Google Colab. Google Colab is a platform which supports Python programming online. It's free, and it is just like a Jupyter notebook. Okay, I repeat, participants, I'm not going to talk about technical things. I'm going to talk about the domains. Um, okay. 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 There are some requests coming up. Who will be the trainer in the complete Python curriculum? I would say that it would be a institute's decision. So yeah, surely I would be here around in the institute IACSD to help you out with your queries, or even I would be taking some sessions if time permits. But then the point is that yes, you can join the curriculum, and we'll be sure to help you out with this. Yes. Um, okay. Python purpose security. Will it be useful for another purposes? Yes, Aniket. If you learn Python for security, you can go and explore Python for data engineering applications. You can go and explore Python for web programming also. But data engineering kind of things will be very easy for you to adapt. Network analyst, data analyst for network domain, or think about fintech, okay, finance companies, finance security domains. There also you can have a lot of security issues. So those are our cloud security. These can be the domains where you can apply Python in a big way, Niket. Okay, in general, you can apply Python as a data engineer. If you are very good in programming and some data science experience, Aniket, you can go ahead as a data analyst also, big data analyst, or business analyst or business intelligence engineers or something like that. That can be also good sectors for you. Will web development be automated by AI? Avdut, that's a far-fetched thing. Yes, people are working on it, but then see, automation always has limitations. Never think about automation like just okay, guys. Quick question to all of you. That okay, when you say computers, people thought when computer will come, then people, it will replace people and there will not be any jobs. Are you sure company because of computers job loss, or they created jobs? How many of you say they created jobs? Type C in the chat box. Rather, I am here as a trainer. It created jobs, so many of jobs, and my colleagues are saying here, which are present with me, they're saying they created so many jobs. So guys, understand, losing jobs is the myth. Is just you have to just upgrade your thing. So web automation, yes, it can happen, but then still there will be maintenance, there will be fine tuning of web applications and all that. So people, there will be a lot of jobs. Okay, so don't worry about, only the job profile will change. Yeah, Narendra ji, perfect. Only the profile will change. Okay. How to become best data scientist? I would say be flexible. I would say be genuine. uh, Genuinity is a thing. If you work on becoming very genuine, Yash, interviewers can make out genuine people very fast. Okay, this is a key to, I would say this is one of the keys to crack interviews. If you're genuine, even if, let's say, you're not great at some technology, let's say you know Python only 10%, tell your interviewer that I know Python 10%, but I'm learning. So this genuine approach, it builds trust very fast. And I have seen so many interviewers taking people who are trustworthy than technical people. How many of you agree this? Type A in the chat box that you yourself would agree for trustworthy people, or fetch trustworthy people more than just technical people. Yes. Okay, very nice, wonderful, guys. So be trustworthy by being a genuine thing. So there are some queries about when the course will start, and what is the fees. I would like you guys to get in touch with the phone numbers given on the flyers. They would clarify. Uh, AI can never replace humans. Yes. Repetitive jobs are replaced. Yes, perfect. Medical coding field. Yes, Aniket, surely Python is helping. I'm not saying future. Already in medical sectors, people are working on Python to automate many things. Okay, Aniket. I would give you a case study that you know recently. It's not recent actually. It was 4 or 5 years back. My mother has a background of having asthma. So I took her, suddenly one day she was having a headache. So I took her to a local doctor. So he prescribed some medicines. And the problem happened is, after taking that medicine, she had a severe asthma attack in night, because asthma patient cannot take some kind of headache medicines, if you know that. So the point is that if you think that it would have been some kind of data processing kind of thing, where my historical profile of my mother would have been there present, so that local doctor would have understood, oh, she is an asthma patient, and he would never have given that medicine. So already there are a lot of things, Aniket. A lot of people are working on medical coding and all those things. Okay. Yes. Uh, yes. Thank you very much, guys. I would like to conclude the session here. Uh, Thank you very much for your very active participation. I'd like to deeply thank all of you. Uh, as always, I say that every of the participants, they teach me something. So thank you very much. This was a learning experience for me also. Hope to see you soon. Okay. Yes. Bye.